Llamas with Hats.
Oh, there is a dead human in our house.
Oh, hey, how did he get here?
Do you guys remember this? I know for a lot of people my age, they probably do. I know at the tail end of my high school career, I had consumed many an episode of Llamas with Hats. It premiered not too long after I graduated, so the entire series wasn't out by the time I did graduate from high school in this year, 2011. But the fact of the matter is, it was a goofy little thing. It was a fun little show about a llama named Carl doing absolutely heinous things, like things that could be defined as war crimes if he were participating in war, which, I mean, he kind of was at a war with the entire planet itself. So, and he's just a llama. He's just a llama. No opposable thumbs, none of that stuff, but the guy, super duper heinous.
Don't you think any of this was a good idea?
Probably because I'm a dangerous sociopath with a long history of violence.
Oh.
I don't understand how you keep forgetting that.
And by his side, he had Paul, the llama of reason. The llama that was a normal talking llama with a hat on. I guess not terribly normal. But the fact of the matter is, this was a series that started in comedy and ended being incredibly depressing. I remember I caught the first 3 or so, and then I kind of dropped off from it. Didn't really catch them very much. I eventually found out that they had made more, 12 of them in fact, and I watched them all. So depressing. What the frick, dude? Jason Steele made these. Okay, he's the same guy that made Charlie the Unicorn and many other beloved, incredibly disturbing animations. And I have to tell you, much like the route of other depressing things, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Oh my goodness. The fact of the matter is, like, it really took a turn. Oh my gosh, it took such a turn. And there's actual storytelling, and it was fantastic. And why am I talking about this? Okay, some of you may already be aware of why I'm talking about this, because it has a good amount of views, but it doesn't have any 40 million like the first one does, or the entire series. Dude came out with another one. Yeah, the series ended like 10 years ago. The series ended in like the year 2014 or somewhere around that. And he decided to make an epilogue to it. And it was mind-bending. Like it was beautiful. Honestly, like a little bit of it was funny in its own sad kind of way. But in terms of storytelling, actually really good. But what was most interesting to me was he has a video where it's all 12 of the Llamas with Hats compiled just together. Runtime's 18, 19 minutes. This epilogue, the epilogue to the whole series, is longer than the entire show. Now, it's not like this Jason Steele guy has ever stopped making content. I see him streaming constantly. He seems to like to stream video games, but FilmCow is his channel, and it has always been active. It never stopped. It's just had different animations here and there. Nothing really as iconic, in my opinion, as the properties like Llamas with Hats and Charlie the Unicorn, both of which have now had continuations. Charlie the Unicorn, he started back up a few years ago, and that's when he really came back on my radar. I was like, oh, okay. Bro's making some Charlie the Unicorn. I'm game for that. And this one, it was like midnight last night, and it came across my For You page, or whatever the equivalent is over here on YouTube. I wish I hadn't watched it right before bed. Oh my gosh. It was insane. It was well done. This guy has quite a bit of talent. As cheap as the animations seem, which is intentionally so, I mean, it's his style. His style is that, like, weird looking stuff. You've got these people that it seems like they have really cheap animations, but they're not. They're doing a lot of cool things with it, but that's just the style that he goes for. His looks pretty cheap, but I can tell he puts a lot of work into it. And I was incredibly impressed. I like the Llamas with Hats series. All right. And we're entering into a new renaissance of all these nostalgic YouTube series making a comeback. I mean, we've got more Dog of Wisdom too. That's pretty cool. But we're seeing a lot of people come back Well, not even, because he wasn't even gone to begin with, but people making content again that's along the lines of what it was back in my high school days. And I have to say, Jason Steele, thank you so much for personally catering to my wants and needs. Now, if you can make more episodes of The Cloak, man, I'd love that.
You've got an axe in your face.
Ha! Well, you've got an axe in your face.
No.
Honestly, in terms of comedy to darkness, those of you that read the series Bone would know exactly what I'm talking about. This series right here starts out as a pretty lighthearted thing. You've got this one guy and a couple of friends of his that get lost. They somehow end up outside of their own little quaint hometown, which is kind of a Western setting, and end up in the rest of the world where things are so dark and so vile. Something is basically going to obliterate everything, and it's somehow up to them to stop it. It's kind of a Link story. Ocarina of Time is another simple answer to compare that. You know, you've got Link, this poor little boy who's a reincarnation of other strong people, but that's beside the point. He's a kid. He's a little kid, and they're just like, hey, darkness is rising. Go put that boy to fight. He's drafted, Vietnam style. Have him kill Ganon. That's what happens. And this is kind of similar to that, too. It starts out a nice little lighthearted adventure about a llama that stabbed someone 37 times in the chest and had no idea that that would kill somebody. And it ends with the entire destruction of the world. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but if that encourages you to go watch it, sorry for the spoilers if you're upset about that, but I mean, it did come out 15 years ago, so if you haven't seen it by now, sorry guys. I didn't mean to do that. But Jason Steele, the channel is FilmCow. Did I actually just do another shout out 2 weeks in a row? No. No, this is specifically about Llamas with Hats. And I guess kind of Charlie the Unicorn. Charlie the Unicorn's got that iconic Riz game going on with it. That was cringe. That was so cringe. If you guys pretend that didn't happen, I'll pretend it didn't happen. And I promise you, I won't try and actually incorporate that vernacular, vocabulary, whatever, into my videos ever again. I give you my promise on that. I would use it ironically, like making fun of other people to do it, which would be myself, because I just did it. I'm getting old. 32, graduated in 2011. And I watched Llamas with Hats. You know, Nyan Cat still is around too. Like, I saw the audio of that on TikTok, and I went to the website. You know, the original Nyan Cat website, still up. You still got all the options and all that jazz, and that's interesting. I hated Nyan Cat. I hated it, but mostly because I had this friend Levi, who was just a monster. Honestly, you know, if you're watching this, buddy, those 10-hour loops of Nyan Cat that you subjected us to were awful. I think it's part of the reason I messed up this day. Okay? More than watching Llamas with Hats. It's the 10-hour loops of Nyan Cat that did it to me. He did do some cool 10-hour loops. We got interior crocodile alligator. Oh man, that was cool. But I can't find the video that one is from, because that specific one had this guy, and it's like he was riding some hoverboard thing. But the hoverboard may have been an alligator? I don't remember. Exactly. And that's what kills me, because I could find 10-hour loops of it, no problem. 10-hour loops, man, they're still everywhere. And then he did peanut butter jelly time every once in a while. But you know what? I got used to that one. So, wow. Sorry, I rambled there. If you haven't seen Llamas with Hats, go watch Llamas with Hats. If you have seen Llamas with Hats but haven't seen the epilogue to Llamas with Hats, go watch the epilogue of Llamas with Hats. But I hope you got 20 minutes on your hands, because it's 20 minutes long for some reason. You might cry. I'm just saying. Just sad. Not a happy ending for anyone, but really, did he deserve it? Did he deserve a happy ending? I don't think so. Anyway, that's the video, everyone. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next week. Gonna have some big news in next week's video about my personal life, because, you know, I share personal things with you when I shouldn't. Catch you then. Bye.